When I was a kid, I always wanted to be kind. I always tried my best to not be a problem, to not be a burden. But my intentions were pretty pure as a kid. I just wanted everybody to be happy. I just wanted everybody to, be comfortable in any way I can. I was a really sweet kid, honestly. I brought food for like my teachers every day because I like seeing them smile. I like seeing them happy. I always want to be kind. I just gave and gave everything. Tried my best to not be a burden, even though things were bubbling up inside of me. And things just stacked and stacked. I kept like bottling stuff up inside until I kind of lost myself in the process. I was so like stuck with the behavior of bottling everything inside, and eventually I didn't know myself. For a long time, I didn't know myself because I had that habit for a long time. It was hard for me because I started to forget what's the problem because I kept bottling stuff up. I kept blocking memories because I didn't want to be a burden to everybody until I lost like a big chunk of myself. And, stuff like that happens. You lose yourself, start to become more irritated by everything, start always going insane a little bit. So, piece by piece, I was losing myself till I didn't know who I was for a long time. And the thought of me not becoming a burden, like, stuck with my personality for a while, a long while. So, I had a lot of insecurities, started hiding a lot of stuff that I didn't want to show because maybe like society wouldn't accept that. Like the kids that I was in kindergarten with, maybe they won't accept me. Maybe they'll treat me like a burden. Maybe they won't accept me in the tribe. Like they're part of the friendship group, I guess. So I hid a lot of stuff about myself. And as time went on, I kind of hated myself day by day. I couldn't find anyone to connect with because I didn't know what to talk about. Because I bottled everything in that I don't even know who I was. I don't even know what, everything is. I was isolated for a long time, so it, would, it was kind of hard for me to connect with certain part of the culture that were like the norms. So it really was hard for me as a kid to find friends, like good old friends, especially when I block every memory I have. So every time you have that deep discussion, I don't, I don't know what to say. I just laugh and joke about it because that's how I was doing it back then. It stuck with me. So a couple of years like that, things went really dark. Then sometime I find like a reason to go back to the light. I started thinking about who I was. Just I didn't at that point I couldn't believe I was kind. I couldn't believe I was the light. I couldn't believe I was the guy who brought joy to everything I want to do. So I tried to retrace back my steps. Try to unlearn that kind of behavior. of me just bottling stuff up and blocking memories. Step by step, it was really an emotional process. It was freeing as well, like unblocking all of the memories. Going through them was such a very uncomfortable task. It felt like my body was on fire, like tingling, like it was trying to stop me from actually getting better because it was so programmed to who I was back then. So I look back at my memories and I thought, damn, I am a kind person. I was a kind person. So I started relearning how to be kind because I know that I would never be who I was back then again. And it was kind of hard for me to accept that at first. But as soon as I accepted that, I tried to relearn what being kind was. And as soon as I learned and learned what being kind was, being kind is being kind to yourself and then being kind to others. You can't just give everything that you have to everyone. You have to start with yourself. If you don't know how to be kind to yourself and love yourself, you can't really love others the right way. So I started loving myself, giving myself love. But it was a hard, rigorous process to change like my programming, my mind to do things and how to think. It took a while, but I got there. And it kind of changed the meaning of what it means to be kind. To be kind is to be strong, because just being kind and being weak isn't really a virtue or like a thing that you should do. Being kind and weak is the same as just being the guy you push around and scared. You have to be strong and kind. You can't be strong and weak. To be strong and weak, you are very easily going to be taken advantage of in this world, and you will turn into someone not kind. It's very easy for a weak, kind person to turn to a monster than a strong, kind person would. A strong, kind person understands what it means to be kind. That you don't need to give and give and give. And to, as soon as, I went through a lot of stuff and went through the rigorous process of self work, I kind of understood the principles of what people needed because I knew what I needed back then. So when somebody asks for something, I don't give them right away. I try to make them figure themselves how to get there. Because as I learned, self work and self confidence, self esteem, and self love isn't something that someone gives to you. It's something that you can only give to yourself. So I live with that. Be strong and kind and know when to give, know when to not. Because in this world, when you're not strong, you are not respected. And when you are not respected, you're easily, abused by other stuff, other people, other entities, other everything. Even if it's just physical, mental, or spiritual, you'll be easily taken advantage of and easily abused. So you need to be strong in all aspects. Because as soon as you're respected, you have more capacity to be kind to others. You can show them you can have an iron fist and a golden heart at the same time. Because that's what it means to be kind. To be strong, to protect yourself and others, and to give what is meant to give. What what's meant to be given to others, not just because to please people. Sometimes you do things that are really nice, and the people you're like giving them to won't like understand it, and that's okay because doing something while nobody is looking or nobody is actually understanding is where true character is built upon. That's when it matters. And I live by that. I don't care if people get what I'm talking about or not. All I know is I have the best intentions for people. If it has something to do with your karma, I will step out of the way because karma is not punishing you, it's just making you learn. Sometimes you need to let things happen so people could learn. That's the thing. To be kind is to be smart, strong in everything, to be wise in everything that you do, and to not do something just because other people would think it's good or bad. Other people's opinions mean squat. Only matters what your intention is. And that's what it means to be kind. Being kind is the hardest thing to be in this world. Some people think it's the easiest thing to be, but no, it's the hardest thing to be in this world. To be actually kind in this world where it's so hard for people to live in peacefully, since corruption and everything is so common. So be kind. Be that kind. The kind person who is wise, strong, and smart, and doesn't really hold on to people's opinions that much. Do things only to be kind, to be the gateway of God's blessings. That's how I think of it. Even though people don't see it or don't understand it, I like to think of it as God giving the person good karma or good blessings through me. And I would be glad to do so. This is Chris Kane signing off.